Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going old school and tying a black woolly bugger. This one will be a tungsten beaded head woolly bugger. We're using a 3.8 millimeter tungsten bead in a copper color and a RX streamer number 6 hook. Okay, any streamer hook will do, any length will do, any tungsten bead will do for that matter. So don't worry too much about the setup here. It's just for instructional purposes to show you, but I would tie it on about a 3x long, probably minimum 3x long hook. And I do go up to 7x, but to make a really long streamer, woolly bugger. So anyways, without further ado, 6/0 black thread tied in towards the rear. And we're going to wind that thread back to about the hook point. And now we're going to grab some black marabou. And you're going to get a nice piece. And take your time with it and take a look at it. What I'd like to do is grab it from the tips and then pull back anything that's just hanging out there. Okay. What I also like to do is at this point cut off a lot of the excess, wet my finger, kind of just stroke that so it's a lot easier to handle. The length, you want it to about the length of the hook shank, and we'll tie that in with a pinch wrap and then secure it a little bit more. We're going to cut off this excess here. And we'll secure that down now. Some thread wraps, winding it back. Now we are going to put in some crystal flash. We're going to be using some red crystal flash, which I like to use on the black woolly buggers. And just grab one piece out of there. Snip it about quarter off. And we'll tie in one on one side, and we'll do it the length, and you can go beyond the length of the marabou, and I might as well show you that just because it's a lot easier to clip it off later. And we'll just tie that into the side there. Okay, we're going to grab the end of it and bring it around and do the same thing on that side. Okay, and secure that down, and you want to make sure where that is on the side. Perfect. Now with this little loop here that we've created, we're just going to cut it right in the middle, bring it forward right on top, and secure that with some nice tight wraps. Okay, and now we can take our scissors and kind of right about to the end of the marabou, grab all the pieces of crystal flash and clip it so they're all about the same size. Okay, there we go, perfect. Now for this woolly bugger, we are using dubbing for the body, black ice dubbing mixed in with a little bit of green. That's what I really enjoy using for my woolly buggers, is the ice dub. Very buggy looking. You get the long threads, and you can actually create any of the colors that you want by mixing in different colors and creating one color. So we're gonna put that on our thread there, our dubbing, and we're gonna start our body up. And the great thing about this, using dubbing for the body, is if you make a mistake, it takes a second to unwind and correct, as opposed to when you have like chenille or whatnot, you've wrapped the body and you've noticed that it doesn't look good. You have to kind of unwind everything. So we're just going to do, and you can make your body as big, thick as you want, or as thin as you want. It's all up to the fly tire. And then you can go out and test it out and see if it works. Maybe tie up some with different thicknesses of bodies and also different colors, and see what works. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap that forward. And you can fish this fly basically on a floating line or a sink tip line or sinking line for that matter, depending on the water you're fishing and the depth of it. You can swing these, you can dead drift them, and strip them in, of course. They do represent leeches, bait fish, you name it. They just have great action in the water. They're buggy, and the fish just love to attack this fly. Okay, we're almost there. I like to put a little bit on at a time. We can put in a lot. You can put in another section and another section and have your thread nice and long. Or you can take your time, enjoy the tie, and get precise with your dubbing. Now we're going to wrap our dubbing right up to behind the tungsten bead, and what we're doing there is also securing the tungsten bead against the eye of the hook. Now I'm going to add a little bit more here. There we go. Okay, so that's basically about it. We can brush this out, make it look a little bit more buggy if we wanted to. You can do a lot of things. You can take your Velcro brush and just kind of pull out some fibers there, and that makes it look really buggy. We are going to be wrapping this with Hackle going back. So let's grab today. What color hackle we're going to use? We're going to use a Badger hackle. It's going to be a mixture of colors here, and it's just to show you that you can use any type of color hackle that you want to wrap this back with. So let's see here. We're going to grab a nice long piece. Find one here. Sometimes it does take a while to get the piece that you'd like. Okay, I like that piece right there. And we're just going to strip off some of these web ear fibers. Not all of them. I like the web ear fibers wrapped around the head. Okay. And we're going to tie that right behind the bead. Secure that down nice and tight. I'll show you a little trick here now. So you'll clip it off, and now you have this end piece of the hackle, the stem, that sometimes you just can't, no matter what, you can't get with scissors. So not a big deal. Just grab a slight little bit of dubbing, nothing crazy. Just a little bit. Wrap it on there. Give it a couple turns, and voila, it's gone. Now you're going to take your thread and you're going to palmer rib that thread all the way back to just before the tail. Okay. Now you want to grab your hackle pliers if you want, or you can actually use your fingers. We'll grab these and we're going to give it one turn there. Okay, and then we're going to start palmering this hackle back. Nice even spaces. Get to the end. We're going to grab our hook and we're going to secure that in. Now as you're securing it in, we want to take our thread and kind of weave it through these hackle fibers as we're bringing it back. Okay, just kind of wiggle it back and forth. And you can always take your bodkin after and pull out some of those fibers if they're trapped. Okay, or your brush. And we're just going to wind that all the way back to where we started. And now just before we get to the tip, the head, we're going to take our fingers and we're going to pull back those fibers and now secure those in. Okay. Now, we wrapped a little bit too much there. And that's where you got to be careful. We trapped some of these lower fibers in there. Okay, there we go. And we're just gonna, there we go. Nothing crazy. There we go. And now 3 to 4 turn whip finish to secure the thread in there. And you might get some hackle fibers trapped. Don't worry, we can always clip those. Okay. And you want to clip the thread off. Now we can go back here and clip off this, cut off this excess there. And now again, you can take your bobkin and go in there and pick the hackle fibers that are trapped, or you can take your brush. It's up to you. This is a very, very webby, very buggy looking woolly bugger. And we'll secure the thread with a little bit of head cement on the top and a little bit on the bottom. Looks good there. And there you have it. There's your old school black woolly bugger with badger hackle and tungsten bead on the top. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.